which is the theme of Chronos and Kairos, which is time and timing. And I chose that theme to make one point. Usually that whole presentation can take half a day, but I'm condensing it in a couple of minutes to get one message across. First of all, Kairos and Chronos are two names that exist in the Greek language for time. But actually what Kairos means is timing. And a brilliant definition in the dictionary, when you look it up, is the appointed time in the purpose of God. You know, what does that mean? The appointed time in the purpose. So that's whatever you do, there is a particular appointed time in the purpose of God. When you do this, what you are committed to do, then you got Kairos, then it's successful. If you do it to a non-appointed time in the purpose of God, then you may sweat, you may do a lot of effort, it's not going to happen, or it's a very poor outcome. So we have lost the sensing of the right timing. And it's an art. There are a couple of requirements that are required. So Chronos, and that would be male, and that, remember, Chronos is important, male is important, you can't have the exhale with the inhale without the inhale, etc. So you set a commitment, you have X as an outcome, you say you have 1 week to go, and then you make your plan and you take your action steps and all the rest of it, and you go into action. They're the normal way of making things happen. And here you go, day 1, day 2, day 3, etc., etc. And let's say on day 3, you are getting a phone call from a friend who came from overseas and says, oh, I'm just in town this afternoon. I would love to have a coffee with you. Can you make it happen? And you say, oh my God, no, I'm really committed. I have a deadline to match. I'm not going to break my word this time, and I'm not going to disappoint anybody. I have to say no. Sorry. Okay, well, an opportunity missed, because now we talk about Kairos. So Kairos is the time quality. Chronos is the time quantity. Kairos is the here and now. Chronos is back, past, present, future. The goal X, what you set on Chronos 7 days to achieve, does already exist in the here and now, just not where you are. If you say I'm going to make $100,000 in 1 week, that $100,000 X does exist right now, just not on your bank account or for your availability, but it's somewhere already now. It doesn't need, 7 days to manifest. So the question is, can you hit the here and now such that you are hitting the X now and not on day 7? If that happens, we call it luck, good luck. Yeah? We call it, yeah, right. That happens once in a life, etc., etc. Yeah? But fact is, there's a law behind that. Whatever you want for yourself, for your business, does exist right now already. Not in space, no, concrete here. The people are there, the money is there, the resources, whatever you want to create, it is already here. You're just not there. But you have your own plan. So let's say this guy responds differently to the question from the visitor, from his friend, and says, okay, I don't know why I'm saying yes, it doesn't make sense, it probably violates my plan of the 7 days, I've made such a beautiful structure and everything figured out. Okay, I see you. And you have coffee in the afternoon, and suddenly it turns out that your friend works for a company and they have the resources you need, and what you needed to put all in place, they already have. And since the rapport and the resonance is great, you are here and you walk home before the end of day 3 with the X. Possible? Absolutely. This is an analogy. So what do we need to do in order to get when to say yes to Kairos? Right? So what's required for that? How do we get Kairos fit, so to speak? Well, the first thing is, Kairos works the better, the more aligned you are with your higher purpose. So if the law of oneness is against you, if your soul is like, like making this to what you do with your ego, like, oh my God, now it's going this, oh no, then Kairos is very difficult to appear. Those who are in alignment with a higher purpose and get the blessing of the whole, the blessing of their soul, they have Kairos always very, very available and visible to them. What you then also need to learn, if you not already practice, is meditation. Meditation has multiple purposes. The one purpose I'm talking about is that it slows down your cognitive process. You have more awareness, and internally it's just slower. The slower you are inside, the faster you are outside. The slower you are inside, the more space you have to recognize things that you wouldn't recognize because your mind and your emotions would just be too busy. So you need to be in that kind of Buddha state while you can be very engaged in the world, and just while you are running down in that state, the street, so you're fulfilling fully on the making happen. You are in action. However, you are internally absolutely still, or slow. And then you run down and you see that side door, that side track over there. And something tells you that's my Kairos. And you're not gonna continue running the highway, you take this one. And it's a shortcut, and you got it. So to have that awareness, an internal process of slowing down is required. Next point would be keep your life complete. The more incomplete loose ends you have, the more your lifestyle is one of non-integrity, if I may use a word. The more stuff you have in your head, the less you can be sensitive to the Kairos appearances. Simplification of life is great, but when you have a lot of vision, when you have a lot of mission that you committed to manifest, you still might to have 100 things each day on your plate, but you can learn to keep things complete. Never break a promise and all the rest of it, but communicate with your environment such that there are no loose ends, etc., etc. It's a whole big story. So just to really see at the end of the day, when you walk into bed, when you go to bed, and you look, and there's no thought. There's just nothing, because you completed every action on that day when the action happened. You didn't resist, you did not hesitate, you did not withhold, and all the rest of it. That action, whenever it happened on that day, you completed 100%. And the next one is totality. The more totality you are, the stronger Kairos works for you. Here's the element of surrender. If you have a back door open, if it's only one, it messes up your totality completely. As water only boils at 100%, totality means totality. 99% is not good enough. If you keep those phone numbers, if you're in a relationship, not married yet maybe, but thinking about it, and you keep those phone numbers, you know which ones I mean. So just in case, because one never knows. You never know what is 100%. You are not able to experience the power of fulfillment. Burn them, right? Whatever you do, you don't need to do anything tomorrow. Never promise like forever. But today, which is the only time that exists anyway, be total. If you are in a relationship today, be total in the relationship today, 100%. And if you choose tomorrow again, perfectly fine. But do not compromise on today. If you can live that kind of life, then Kairos is knocking on your door. I was overwhelmed by the Kairos principle in my own life. 20 years ago, I was down in Texas participating as an actor in the Oklahoma musical. Can you imagine that? Still with an accent and all the rest of it. Big stage, 1,700 people in the theater. And we did singing, dancing, and acting. And 100,000 unemployed actors back then. I got the full summer stock engagement, and I made it. It's a long story. I can't tell it now because we don't have the time for it. But there is a lot of Kairos that I can refer to in my own life. So, the last one, what I prepared for you, just a couple of repetitions, but maybe it's some valuable last inspiration for you. We call it the 7 golden creation rules. CC stands for Creative Consciousness. That's the name of my organization. Number 1 would be what you desire to create out there, first create in your consciousness. We talked about that, right? If it's not really in here, how can it become real out there? It's all connected. Number 2, be specific in the details, what, by when, where, how much, etc. If you don't believe what I'm saying, watch the movie Bedazzled and see how many mistakes you can make with wishing and visualizing if you're not going to be specific. Bedazzled, good movie to watch. That gets you on your toes. Number 3, use the power of your word on your creation. We have a whole 4-day course only on that one. So the one thing what I can say is that there is creative force in your word. And what that means in the phrase of abracadabra, which means I create as I speak. So there's something about that. And if you want to find out more about it, go for it, but I can't fill it in right here now. Support your word with a creation question, okay, that would be also leading deeper into everything. Detach by embracing the worst case scenario. That's a moment where I said, okay, commit 100%, surrender in totality, and at the same time detach. Yeah? And you see, then everything will be very, very coming your way. Surrendering in totality to serve the manifestation of a creation, and let the whole decide on the how and persevere until the creation is complete. That's beautiful. Commit, detach, and let the whole take care of the details. Don't get attached to the how, whatever you do. The what and the why, that's your job. The how, don't engage. Yeah? The mind is not able to perceive all the possibilities that are out there. Let the how be taken care of by the great intelligence of the whole. So, last information before we have a few minutes for the possible questions you may have. If you want to find out more about what we do here in the US, that's the website address. Next week, 15th to 18th of October at Lake Tahoe, we do have our Master 1, the 4-day breakthrough course on New State of Consciousness that I personally am here to lead as well. So, thank you very much. I'm just going to stick to my time.